So when we look into your basic security, there are many elements to consider. The most important ones are, of course, the authentication. So that means MFA, having a strong authentication is really important. Second one is authorization. Authorization means knowing who has access to what. Then there's patch management, especially with a lot of the vulnerabilities coming up, patches coming out to patch those vulnerabilities. So patch management, really important. We have encryption, so every data of course needs to be encrypted, both in transit and in rest. You have to limit your attack surface, so attack surface reduction is important to make sure that whenever something happens, the impact is as low as possible. You need to centralize and analyze your log information. So whenever you can, grab all of these logs and make sure that you understand what's happening within your environment. And finally, there's backup. So of course you need to have a backup. So whenever something does happen, you have your safe backup to go back to, so you can continue working as soon as possible. So when we look into NIS2, NIS2 actually mentioned zero trust as one of the principles to look into. And when we look into zero trust, there are multiple organizations saying many different things. But in general, there are three items which are generally accepted, which is verify explicitly, use least privileged access, and assume breach. Now what that means is when we talk about verify explicitly, we're actually talking about the user, that you're making sure that the user is who he says he is. So working with MFA, for example, is a great example of looking into verify explicitly. It could also be about the location. Is the normal location that the user is signing in from? Or the device, is it the normal device that the user is signing into? Use least privileged access is all about the authorization. So only get access to the locations that you need access to and to the data that you need access to. And not have access just everywhere and anywhere. And finally, when we talk about assume breach, for me it's the most vital one. Because you need to assume that you've been breached. And with that mindset, you can also look into how you can create segmentation. So whenever something happens, the attack surface is as low as possible, and the way that you can come back to a normal state is as quick as possible as well.